What up, y'all? It's DJ Envy.
And I am Gia Casey.
And this is another edition of the KC Crew.
Welcome.
Yes. And shout to everybody that came out to our live show.
Yes, shout to you.
We appreciate you guys. It was sold out, actually oversold. And we had an amazing time. I mean, it's just, I love to see you guys. I love to talk to you guys. I love to answer you guys' questions. And it was just a dope show. So we appreciate you guys for joining us. I know you guys always ask for us to do live shows, and I promised you that we would do more, and that was our second one this year already.
Second one this year, fourth one total.
Yeah, and if you missed it, we apologize. We're trying to get to different states and different cities. We're trying. Even our international people that listen, we appreciate you guys. I hear you all the way from South Africa or London. We're
Canada,
trying, Canada. We're
Toronto,
trying to get to you guys. You know, we're trying to set up a tour or something, where we could stop through and see you guys and say hi and all that good stuff.
I just love seeing the listeners face to face.
Absolutely.
I met somebody at the live show and she was like, I only wash my face with cold water from now on. I was like, "Aw."
That is good. That is good. So we wanted to say just thank you to you guys, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Now, also, I just, we give an update of the detox. So how is the detox working for you? And the reason I'm saying that is Gia is sitting here in food in front of her, but it's all healthy food.
Yes.
You got your avocados, your blood oranges, your cherry tomatoes, and quinoa.
Quinoa. After all this time, you still can't pronounce it.
I still can't pronounce it.
I mean, I know that it reads like quinoa. Because that's what I was calling it. But we've said it enough times that you should know that it's called quinoa.
Yeah, it's quinoa.
Yeah, and I don't mind the quinoa. The quinoa is it's kind of like rice. So like rice I eat it with the cherry tomatoes. I season everything with the seasonings that we're allowed to use. And I eat it all together. And it's actually delicious. This is something that I'll keep eating after the detox is over. It's a nice little healthy snack.
Yeah, me too. I don't know about snack.
Why are you staring at it like that?
Because I'm starving. Because I haven't had lunch yet.
Wow, you were staring at it a little crazy right now.
I haven't had lunch yet. But
I asked if you wanted something to eat. I was going to prepare it for you too. You told me no.
I said I'll do the podcast first and then we'll do it. I just didn't want to have the food there. I can't eat it and talk. So I just said I'll wait.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? But I wouldn't have it as a snack, as dinner, lunch, yes. But snack, I need like fruit, something sweeter.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I mean, I don't like sweet as much as everybody else.
Right.
I'm not a big, all of you guys love fruit snacks and cookies with cream fillings and cupcakes and cake bites and fruit by the foot, fruit roll-ups. You guys like all of that stuff. That's not really me.
I know.
My kind of snack is more salty, like potato chips, sweet and sour, or sour cream and onion, or Doritos, or the cheddar pop with the white cheddar popcorn.
Correct.
I like things that feel a little bit more like food and less like candy. I'm not a big candy person.
Well, do me a favor, right? Just explain to the people how your detox is going. I got to run to the bathroom right fast. So start explaining. I know it's weird, but I got to run right fast. Explain to the people how your detox is going, how it's making you feel, how much weight you lost, and I'll be back in 20 seconds.
Okay, so at the live podcast, I told everybody that I lost 10 pounds. And, it's funny. People are coming up to me like, oh, you look great. You look great. And I think that people associate looking great with weight loss. But for me, especially in my case, weight loss isn't always a great thing. I think that I look emaciated. When I look in the mirror now without clothes on, I look too skinny. I don't think so. And it's not like, oh, skinny, she looks great. No, to me, it looks like eat a burger. Put some weight on.
No, you don't look like that at all.
Yes, my face looks different. I've lost so much weight in my face that I feel like my cheekbones are very prominent and I look different. I think that I look different.
I think you do look different, but I don't think it's where you need to eat a burger or eat a steak.
Okay, let's be real. It's not too sexy right now. Let's be real. Like we're real, right? My body's not too sexy right now. I lost my boobs. I lost my butt. I lost my thighs. Everything is disappearing.
But your system, your inside of your system is clean.
Oh, no. Don't get me wrong. You have to take the good with the quote unquote bad. And I think for some people, that's a good thing because there might be people that want to spearhead weight loss or spearhead a diet. So this would be a good way to get a head start. I'm just talking about for me and my body type, I just feel a little scrawny right now. That's all I'm saying. Okay. I feel scrawny. And as you know, when we first talked about the detox and when we decided whether we were going to move forward with it, that was my concern.
Right. But
that I didn't feel that I could really afford to lose weight the way that you were dropping weight.
Because you're not eating more. They suggest that you, since you don't want to lose weight necessarily, should eat maybe 4 or 5 times a day of servings of food. That's what you should be doing.
Right. But as you know, we had a very, very, very busy last 2 weeks.
Correct.
I mean, sleeping, you usually sleep 3-4 hours a night. Me sleeping 3-4 hours a night isn't normal.
Well, it's less than that. I've been getting less than that. The other day I had been getting 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah, and I've been getting like 3-4. So I've been preoccupied with things. I've been busy with things. So I didn't have the time to eat 5 times a day. So I'm sure that's part of the reason why I'm losing weight. But the upside is that I'm sure that my insides are sparkling.
Sparkling clean, right?
So the only thing, I haven't felt a change in my energy. And I think what's happening is kind of like, what is that called, babes? When the lap band, right?
Yeah, the lap band.
Okay, so when people have lap band surgery, long story short, you pretty much shrink the size of your stomach, correct? Mm-hmm. So you eat less and clearly you lose weight as a result of it because your stomach can only accommodate a small amount of food. I feel as though with the detox, since my body is starting to get used to eating less, I feel like my stomach is shrinking. So my appetite is probably half of what it used to be. And now when I eat something, like for instance, yesterday I had half a bowl of butternut squash soup and I was full.
And you made fun of me for that.
I did make fun of you for that.
And you made fun of me for that.
I did. Yeah. You ate half a bowl of butternut squash soup and I was like, what? So now you're not a man anymore? Like, no, but real men eat a full bowl of soup.
No, but that's the thing. But that's the thing is it's, you eat all the fruit and the avocados and your quinoa and all that stuff, and you're not as hungry as much. Now
yes.
the crazy thing about it is I feel like I'll be like, I want avocados today. I want this fruit, that fruit, pineapples.
But then you eat half that bowl of soup and then all of a sudden you're full. I couldn't believe it. Usually I would eat a full bowl of soup as an appetizer at a restaurant, followed by a salad, maybe 3 or 4 more appetizers and my entree. Well, appetizers split with you, obviously.
Right.
And then my entree. And now I'm full off of half of what was typically considered an appetizer for me. It's crazy. So again, for people that want to lose weight or at least get started, I think this is a good, healthy way to detoxify your system.
Yeah, so, this is day number 16 or 17.
Don't listen. Today is, I think, day number 17.
17.
Don't mess with them days.
And for me, I'm down.
Because at midnight, on the last day, I'm going to have something hot, piping, steaming in front of me.
Well, that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to ease back into it.
I'm not easing off of nothing. That is not going to happen. I'm just telling you that right now.
Okay.
So don't talk about easing anything to me. Jeannie, Jesse, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be easing off of anything.
And see me, I'm down 22 pounds in 17 days.
You're still only at 22 pounds?
I'm at 22 pounds.
I was 22 pounds yesterday and the day before. You seem to like drop a pound. Like a pound a day almost.
Yeah, not anymore. I guess it slowed down. I don't know. But I'm down 20. Like I started off, I was like 192, 193. Mm-hmm. And when I get on the scale every day, I was 170 this morning.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So down 22, 23-ish pounds. So
didn't you start at 194?
Mm-hmm.
You were at 192 or 194?
It was between 192, 193, 194. It depends. Like
so
now,
you're 22 pounds ish.
Right.
Because it might be a little bit more. I think you were at 194.
But I think I weigh myself in a different, I weigh myself every morning. So
but you know what? Okay. So let's give ourselves a 2-pound grace because it could be 2 pounds more, 2 pounds less because you weigh yourself pre-poop and post-poop.
I do. No, because I really want to know what the food is in my body. Like how many pounds do I have before I poop?
Like,
after
maybe
I poop.
I just pooped 2 pounds.
Before I pee, after
That's
I pee.
Crazy.
I'm just curious to know. I just like to know how my body works.
I want to know the weight of your poop. Keep that to yourself.
But if you want to try it, again, it's the detoxnow.com. That's what Gia and I did. And like I said, again, we don't get nothing from it. No money, nothing.
Yeah, they don't sponsor our podcast.
They don't sponsor our podcast, nothing. It's just something that we did. I seen the weight. People come up to me all the time and say, wow, you lost a lot of weight. What did you do? That's exactly
mean, realistically, it's just in the spirit of spreading love. You know, whenever we find something that's good, that's worthy of sharing, we like to share it. I don't like when people discover something amazing and keep it to themselves.
Oh, I will keep something to myself if
Why?
sometimes. Because sometimes I don't need the world to know.
Why? Wait, explain that to me.
I'm just the type of person like, let me shine with this shit first.
You're like my mother. My mother, you Virgos, my mother used to be like that. Like if I got a secret that's going to have me pop in, that's my secret to keep.
Absolutely.
Like I'm not telling the world.
That's right. I'll tell you after
I'm the opposite.
After I slut it out a little bit, then y'all can have it. You know what I mean?
I'm the exact opposite. If I find something good and I know that it has me feeling good or looking good or is good in my life, in any way, like I want to be the first person to tell people, to share, so people can get in on that goodness.
No. Just like if there's a well and the well has nothing but water and the water does amazing things to my face, let me do it to my face first. And then after I slut it out, then I'll be like, hey, there's a well over there. Y'all better hurry up.
Because I drank most of it.
I drank most of it. That's just me.
Yeah, well, we're different where it comes to that.
Now, let's get into the podcast. Now, this has been a kind of a crazy week for me. And for you as well, and for our family as well. It was like a high, and then a low, and then a high again.
What was the high? Just trying to follow your thought process.
Okay, first, of course, we have a 19 or 20-month-old.
Her birthday's in August, so we are in
March.
We're in April. No, where are we? I don't even know where we're at.
April. We're April.
We're in April, right?
April, yes, April.
April, May, June, July, August. So she is.
Don't even know how old your kid is, huh?
I mean, when people ask, she's a year and a half.
That's what I say.
You want me to narrow down the months, and I got to sit here and count months to people. Like, why am I doing that?
All right. Well, she's a year and a half. She's a year and a half, and she started school.
Yes.
And
Ricky's first day of school.
And just to watch, as you know, we kind of just open up the gate and put her in school, and she's, starting school with new teachers and friends, and that feeling, Gia was there. I was actually at work, and she sent me the video, and I teared up watching that video.
You should have teared up. She was kicking, screaming, and hollering. Yes, you should have teared up. Like, I was a mess.
Explain to the people you were there. So what happened?
Yes. So as far as Brookie starting school, people always ask, well, when did you start your children in school? Do you think that they should start earlier on? Some people start at pre-K, others start at kindergarten.
Correct.
For me, when a child gets to the point where I'm giving them everything that I can give them at home and it starts to feel like it's not enough, that's when, in my opinion, it's time to start school.
Okay.
And I'm not really talking about daycare, because daycare is a little different. They entertain the kids, and I'm sure that there's some educational components to their program, but daycare is typically more about caring for your child while you're at work. We send our kids to a Montessori school where the entire thing is socialization and education. And if you go to work, obviously, that helps because you know that your children are being cared for, hence daycare. But the program is different. And we've talked about Montessori schools. That's my preference, but traditional education is great as well. So with all of our kids, we got to a point where I'm home, I'm playing with them, I'm doing puzzles with them, I'm reading to them, I'm teaching them their words and their alphabet, and, we're watching shows and movies and things like that. And it just gets to a point where I kind of feel like you hit a ceiling and it starts to get boring because you're doing the same things every day. And then when your child starts talking, every week I'm writing down new words. Okay, Brooklyn said this today, or London said this today, or Jackson said that today when they were learning. And you want to encourage that. Now I want her to start putting those words into sentences. Now I don't want to just hear yes, no, juice, go away, leave me, come, shoe, head, nose, ears. I want to hear her start putting them into sentences. And it's easier when she's around other little ones the same age. They're learning at the same time. You have a multitude of teachers that are teaching them. And you also have older children in the class, which is, to me, the best way, because now you have 4 and 5-year-olds like what she has at home. She has her older 3 and 4-year-old siblings, but now you have more of them and they're all talking to you. And this is going on throughout the entire day. So it's going to encourage her to talk. And then there are all types of tools and toys that are going to increase her motor skills. So things like that is what she's going to gain through being in school at this young age, and, going out to play every day.
Absolutely.
And, just being around other children her age. And I just think that it'll start to open her up, not just socially, but emotionally. So it's a good thing. So we decided to send her to school at this age. All the other kids started between 19 months and 2 years old. Mm-hmm. So she might be the youngest. Her and Jax.
I think
they
her
started
and Jax.
the
Jax
earliest.
is pretty, yeah.
So it was her first day on Monday, and oh my gosh, this little baby, she's what we call a hand baby. She's so used to being in someone's arms that handing her off to someone that she does not know damn near traumatized her.
And me.
And you and your mother.
Yeah, my mom cried.
Yes. Handing her off and watching her face change and look at me like, wait, you're just going to leave me with these strangers? That look, and she's crying and she's kicking, her arms and legs are flailing all over the place, and she's reaching for me, and just the look in her eyes was just like, no. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, okay, I need to stay here for a little while longer. The teacher was like, no. It's best if you go, because the longer you stay, the more separation anxiety she's going to have, which is true. And I knew that. It's like you really just have to cut the cord.
Correct.
So I just had to walk out, and I lingered outside the classroom for about an hour. And I was videotaping her from outside the classroom through the window, and I sent it to you. I sent it to your mom, and it was heartbreaking.
Yeah. For me, man, it's the worst feeling, because, it's crazy, because every baby we have, I'll be like, that's my baby. That's my baby.
But Brookie's really your baby?
I love my babies, Brookie's been changing on me a little bit recently, but Brookie was my baby. Like, how excited I get and how excited she gets. So to see her, so let me paint the picture. So Gia drops the baby off. Gia and the nanny goes in the room. And this was the nanny's last day. The nanny waited for her last day to drop the baby off. That's how connected the nanny is to the baby. So,
well, it's not her last day. She's going to Ecuador for a 6-week vacation.
Right.
So Irma is not going to be with us for the next 6 weeks. So she scheduled her vacation day to coincide with Brookie's first day of school, so she could be there for it.
Correct.
So we go together.
So they walk inside, and Brookie sees all the kids and the tables and the chairs, and Brookie sits right down in the chair.
Right.
So
because she thinks it's all good.
She thinks it's all good.
She has no idea.
Right. So Irma and Gia kind of just like moonwalk out of the classroom. And then when they moonwalk out the classroom, Brookie looks over her shoulder and doesn't see Irma or Mommy. And she looks back, and the teacher gives her some papers, and Brookie at first is cool. And then I think Brookie realized, like, wait a minute, who the fuck is this?
Right.
Who the fuck are these kids?
Right.
Who the fuck is this teacher? So Brookie was like, nah, I'm out, B. So Brookie gets up and runs to the door.
Yeah.
And then she gets to the door, and the door's locked. So
she
now
Brookie
starts knocking on the door, because I guess she thinks it's almost like our bedroom where you got to knock on the door
to come in.
So she's knocking on the door like, all right, motherfuckers, come get me.
Playtime over.
I'm here.
Joke done.
Like, look, all right, come get me. And then we didn't come get her, and she was crying and bawling.
You said we like you were there because you were on FaceTime.
I felt like I was there. And she was crying and bawling, and then the camera just backs up because you started to walk away, and you just left my baby girl. What kind of mom leaves her baby?
Mom that wants her child to be educated. So today's day 3, and it was the same thing. But there's a teacher at the school. Well, she's a teacher in training.
Correct.
So she's one of the teachers in the classroom. There's about maybe 4 teachers in the classroom, and then a couple of helpers.
Right.
And it's a great ratio, because there's only about maybe 7 or 8 kids in the class. So it's almost like a 1-to-1 ratio, which is awesome. So there's one teacher who's training, and she's Disney characters on the weekend. That's her weekend job.
Right.
So I don't know if you guys have kids or nieces, or if you like Disney cartoons yourself, but Brooklyn is obsessed with Moana.
Oh my goodness.
And so is London.
She loves it.
Yes, she sings the song. She's like, Mana, Mana. So this teacher in training is Moana sometimes on the weekends. So she starts singing Moana songs to Brookie, and I promise you, she looks like, instead of a Hawaiian, because Moana's Hawaiian, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Instead of like a Polynesian type of Moana, she's like a Spanish looking Moana.
She's like a Puerto Rican.
But she looks like Moana, like she has Moana's nose. So Brookie swears up and down that this teacher is Moana personified.
Right.
So like her shoe came off. She's like, Moana, shoe.
Right.
Moana, eat. Oh, because after I left the classroom, I went into the office because they have cameras in the classroom. Oh, and I watched half of her day from the monitor just to make sure that she got acclimated and settled and whatnot. But she was in Moana's arms the entire day. So she managed to mellow out and be okay. It's just, that first 10 minutes when I left, it was just every day, including today, it was just very, very difficult.
Yeah, so that was that. So my baby girl she's getting older. And the next thing that almost made me tear this week was a young man wanted to ask Madison to the prom. So what happened was one of Madison's closest friends texted Gia and said this young man wanted to talk to Gia and me about asking Madison to the prom. So we spoke to him on the phone, and he pretty much said that, he wanted to take Madison to the prom and wanted to know how he should go about asking it. He had this idea and wanted our opinion and wanted to get permission.
Yeah, he pretty much called to ask permission to ask her to the prom, which I thought was adorable. I mean, and it's the same gentleman that wanted to take us driving to prove that he was able and capable and responsible enough to take her driving. So it's the same gentleman. So he called and he said, I want to, and he told me he had a whole elaborate plan planned out that was so adorable. And I said, no, I said, absolutely. I think that she would love to go to the prom with you. And so he responded by saying, you think that she would say yes? I said, I think that she would say yes. Yes, I do. He's like, well, how do you think I should ask her exactly? I said, well, let me tell you this.
Well, he had his idea already.
Well, no, he already had his idea, but I'm talking about the underlying mood of him asking her. And by that, I mean, well, I said to him, Madison is a fickle person.
Right.
She's never had a serious boyfriend in the past, and she's relatively inexperienced. So with you being a junior, I don't know if she thinks that you're more experienced than she is. And by you asking her to the prom, I don't want her to automatically assume that that's going to make you guys boyfriend and girlfriend. Because if she makes that assumption, then it may scare her away.
Right.
It may cause her to take a step back. I said, so my advice to you would be to ask her to the prom as friends, because they're not dating. They're not involved in any way. So I told him, give her a chance to be around you, to realize that you're a nice young man, that you're responsible, that you're respectful, that you're fun, that you're funny, and that you're great to be around. And once you start cultivating a friendship, if there's potential for it to turn into something else, it will. I said, but just don't jump out the box and say something or ask something that may scare her away. I said, I know my daughter, and she's the type of person that would like to take things nice and slow and easy. And he was like, okay, that's what I'll do. Then that's what I'm going to do. I was like, okay. He was like, so should I do it at school or should I do it at the house? And I'm like, if I were you, I wouldn't do it at school. See, me being me, it would be dope if a boy did that for me at school.
Correct.
I said, but me knowing my daughter, who's a completely different individual, she probably would be embarrassed and would probably feel a little way about all the attention that would come her way as a result of you doing it in school in front of all of your peers. She's more of a private person. Like if you did it at the house, then she can just enjoy the surprise, just you and her. And if you bring her friend along, that's great. But doing it at school, like she does not like to be the center of attention at all. Like she's a very low key type of person. He was like, okay. Well then, if I can do it at the house, what day do you think I should do it? Should I do it today? Because tomorrow I have work, and then the day after, this, that, and the third. I said, well, she's going to the hair salon on Saturday, and when she comes back, her hair is going to be wrapped. So when I walk her in the house and both of us have a doobie, she's probably not going to be happy that this is going to be the recording and the memory of her looking like that. Right. You know what I mean? I said, so do it Monday after school. So he came. He asked me if I could stall her after school and take her somewhere. So I picked her up from school. Then I took her for like a late lunch at a Thai restaurant. And then I took her shopping for like, maybe an hour. And then I buzzed him into the gate. I let him into the house. So he and her best friend were waiting at the house. So I'm recording her as we're walking in, and he comes out with this cute poster that he made and drew and wrote on and everything. And it said, prom would be unbearable without you. And it had a huge teddy bear, and there was like a whole sweet production.
Yeah,
so,
I'm gonna post a picture.
You can't post it.
I'm just gonna blur their faces out.
Because people don't know what Madison looks like already.
Well, they don't know what the young man looks like.
If you blur his face out, that's fine. But you have to get her permission. Why do you think I'm not posting? Like, you have to ask her. That's her business. Like, it's one thing if we share general things that's going on.
People want to know. They would love to see.
No, but baby, she's also a private person in a lot of ways.
All right, well, I'll just post
you can't just go post in a video. Like, that's her business.
Not the video, just the
picture of them. Well, you just have to make sure it's okay with her. You can't just go around posting stuff.
Well, it was.
Because what we share is our business. Like, if something happens between us and the kids, because you know what, Logan asked me the same thing. He's like, what are you gonna do with that picture? I'm like, I'm gonna give it to Madison. He's like, oh, you're not gonna send it to like the family and everything? I'm like, if she wants me to, I will, but that's her business. We share our business. If they're involved in our business, then yes, that's par for the course. They can be included in our stories, but that's solely her business.
I'll cut them out then. I'll just have to post in the bear. I just want the people to see it. It was cute. But anyway,
so adorable.
I wasn't there, and I was pissed off that I wasn't there either.
Yeah, you were upset. You would have liked to be there.
Yeah, I was at the accountant. The tax day was a couple of days ago, and we had to get the taxes in, so I couldn't be there for that
trip
anyway.
Out to Long Island.
Yeah, so I had to do the taxes, but I did see the video, and that made me cry too, because I was like,
did it really make you cry?
It made me tear up. It's like...
And your mom too?
Yes. Madison was like my first. Like, she was the baby.
Your first?
Yes.
She was just your first?
Well, our first, but she's like the baby. She's like the one that we kind of learned everything from.
She was the guinea pig baby?
She was the guinea pig. Like, I learned how to change Pampers from Madison.
Right.
I learned how to feed a baby through Madison. Like, I almost...
Now she's big girl.
Yes. I like, she swallowed a penny and had to search through her poop. That was Madison.
Yeah.
Like, that's my baby. Like, she is... my baby, like baby, like
I get
that's my girl.
Baby. Yes,
you see what I'm saying? But now my girl has another guy taking her out. That's fucking crazy.
Did
like,
that make you feel away at all?
Yes,
but
I'm the only guy that takes her out. Like, if it's not me, it's her grandfather or my friends that are so close that they're like uncles. You know what I mean? Like, here's a guy that he's here for a different reason.
I like him.
I like him too, but
so nice.
Still, like, that's my baby.
So nice and kind and respectful.
Right, like
mellow.
Like, people know I'll go crazy about you. Like, I will go even worse for her. Like, she is like, that's my baby.
We understand.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm about to cry now. Like, that's my little girl.
Yeah. That, you know what's funny? This doesn't make me feel that way. And I think that, it's going to be very hard for me to let her go. But something like this just made me smile and happy. Like, oh, the first time that she got asked to a prom,
Right, but then where does it go from there? Then it's the first time she goes to a prom.
Well, she's only a sophomore, so she'll have 2 more proms to go to. Junior prom and senior prom.
I'm not talking about that. Then it's the first time she got a kiss. Then it's the first time.
I don't think you'll know, but I don't think she's going to come to you and tell you that. She'll come and tell me that.
And then you'll tell me right after.
You want to know?
No.
Exactly.
Yes, I do want to know. I do want to know. Then it's like the first time. Then it goes up from there. Like, there's no stopping. It's kind of like, that's why, like, it's making me cry, because then it's the kiss. Then there's the French kiss. Then the hand goes up the shirt.
Yeah, I don't think that there's going to... No, I think the first kiss is the French kiss. Like, nobody just peck. No teenager's just going to peck at first.
You got to do a peck. You got to do a peck.
We never pecked at first.
Yeah, I'm sure there was a good night.
No, I think the first time that you took me out, It was a French kiss goodnight.
No.
I don't think it was like two pecks. Like you peck like your mom. Or I peck you when I come into the house to say, hi, I'm home. That's when you peck. Like you don't peck. Like nobody, that's weird. You just gonna sit there and rest your lips on someone else's lips for 4 seconds and not do nothing.
It could be a
Strange.
second. That's the second. But then it goes from there. Then it's that. Then it's the
we don't
hand.
need to talk about what's going to happen next.
And then
we don't have to talk about that.
And then what are you doing?
I don't know. It came out.
Why did you just pull that out?
Because it was halfway out.
That is the hardest thing to get done.
It's done. It's a wrap.
Now you got to do it yourself. But then,
my string just came out of my sweatpants.
It's the worst because now you got to get a paper, whatever it's called. I never do it. My mom used to do it. You got to get a safety.
The pants fit on the waist. Can we continue?
Right, but then after that, then it's the I love you thing. And then somebody, I don't want, fuck, like, you know what? That like, fuck.
Oh, but like your child falling in love.
I don't want to hear that.
Do you remember that?
No.
Like, that's. Oh.
I don't want to talk about that.
That makes me happy. That doesn't give me anxiety.
That gives me anxiety.
That makes me happy.
All right, but that's
because
your baby girl's growing up.
It's kind of nice to see her open up a little bit more and spread out a little bit more and not be a little girl, like to start doing things on her own and start to have like feelings and emotions. And I'm not saying that she is right now, but I can see we're on the precipice of that. Yeah,
which is making me nervous and scaring me, and I'm losing my baby girl.
Mm-hmm. And we're also losing Irma.
And that's the other thing that damn near made me cry this week. Irma, our nanny, who does she does everything. Like if I'm like, hey Irma, Madison has practice in Florida. Can you take her? She'll be like, sure.
Just make sure there's gas in the tank.
That's how she is.
Yeah.
And we're losing her for 6 weeks. She's going on vacation, and
she needs it. She deserves a vacation. She deserves a 6-week vacation.
No, she definitely does. But I'm like, damn, like you're just gonna leave just us by ourselves.
Yeah, she really is like my right arm, though.
Yeah, like she's
anything
gone.
That has to be done that I cannot clone myself to do myself. She does.
Right.
She does.
Yeah, so she's gone.
And she loves our kids like they're her own.
Like,
so she's very, very special.
Even the way we travel, like, Gia and I could say, okay, we have to do this in Miami, come back the next day. We know that the house is safe. We know that the kids are safe. We know that everything is good. Like, it's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
Like, who's going to make my quinoa and avocado?
Who made your quinoa and avocado today?
I didn't eat it yet.
Well, it's downstairs waiting for you.
You gonna make my squash soup and all that too?
Who made your squash soup yesterday?
You did.
All right. So what are you talking about?
Well, I didn't know if that was like that. Was that a fresh one or did she make it and leave it in the fridge? No, I made it.
I cut the butternut squash and then I opened up the cans of coconut milk and I boiled it.
You did that all yourself?
You've got to be kidding me.
I didn't know you know how to make healthy shit. I know you know how to make like chicken and steak and
the healthy stuff is much easier than the more difficult stuff that I cook. Oh. So you put it in the NutriBullet, blend it, you boil it. Well, like you heat it really, really, really hot, almost to a boil. You put it in the blender, blend it.
Okay.
Then it's like nice and smooth, and then you pour it in a bowl. You let it sit. You season it. It's good to go.
Our babies are getting bigger. That's gonna be the name of this podcast. Our babies are getting big.
You can't just be Debo in the name of these podcasts.
I'm just thinking of it right now because it's making me tear. Like our babies are fucking getting bigger. Like Madison,
that's a good name.
It's going on a prom. Like baby Brooklyn is in school.
So now I gotta
like what's up, motherfuckers? like what the fuck?
I gotta go. We have to go prom shopping. I have to get her a dress and shoes and decide on a look.
Now it's even worse. Now we're talking about spending money. See, before I was good at but now, oh my gosh, now
because the dress has to be dope.
Oh my goodness. Even when you try to maintain a healthy diet, it can be hard to get all the nutrients your body needs for long-term health. Care of is a monthly subscription vitamin service made from effective quality ingredients that are personally tailored to your exact needs. Their fun online quiz, which asks you all about your diet, health goals, and lifestyle choices, makes it real easy to figure out what vitamins and supplements you need, specifically what you need now. It's easy, just takes a couple of minutes. All right, and what you need to do is go to the website and you can find out what you need. Now, the best thing about Care of is how easy it is. The quiz asks you a few questions about your routine to determine what vitamins are best for you. And after you take all the quizzes and check everything out, you can just get vitamins that you think can help work for you even better. They even show you what vitamin does to your body and where they're sourced from. Complete transparency and honesty. I said transparency. Transparency. What did I say? Maybe how you say it?
Transparency.
There you go. And we love that. For 25% off your first month of personalized care of vitamins, visit takecareof.com and enter code KCCrew. That's takecareof.com and enter the code KCCrew for 25% off your first month of personalized vitamins. It's a great deal, an easy way to get your health on. All right. So visit takecareof.com and get your vitamins today. All right. Well, let's keep it moving. Let's go to the email of the week. All right. Now, the email is thekccrew@gmail.com. That's TheeKCCrew@gmail.com. Now, this is from Leah, right? We're going to do two emails today too, baby, because we got a little time.
Okay.
Hey, Gia and Envy. I've been listening to your podcast for about 10 months and really enjoy it. Keep it up. I've been in a committed relationship with my boyfriend for almost 3 years. He's my first love and the only person I've been in love with. He's 27. I'm 24. There is one huge problem. I feel like he's holding me back spiritually. He is a believer and reminds me of that all the time. However, I believe I'm growing so much spiritually and he has me at a standstill. I'm trying to help him so we can grow together spiritually, but it's not working in any way. He tries to get me to do things I know are wrong. However, I love him so much and have a hard time saying no. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I don't want to give up on him. He's a good man. However, it's becoming exhausting at this point. At some point, we have to grow up and make changes to ourselves. Thank you for reading. Call me Leah. All right. Now, this is the thing, and, this is going to sound crazy, but I honestly feel, Leah, that you have to let him be him. And just by reading this, I thought about it quickly, and I said, damn, what would you do? Or how would you feel?
Who feel?
Myself, or if the tables would turn, if we were in that situation, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I kind of feel like this, the first thing I was like, well, where you trying to grow spiritually, and he doesn't want to fuck with you, he doesn't want to come down that road, F him. But
she said he's spiritual.
Right. But thinking about it, I'm like, you can't force anybody to believe or to grow down the road in somebody else's tempo. Meaning, if I'm all the way in and you're halfway in, I can't force you to be all the way in. Mm-hmm. I have to allow you to, bump your head, make some mistakes, not life-threatening or life-changing where you're going to jail, but I have to have you bump your head a little bit for you to see that this is the way, With that saying, we follow a path that we feel is spiritual, we feel is positive, we feel that that's the way that God wants us to be. Mm-hmm. If I was on that mission and you weren't, I wouldn't just be like, well, she doesn't want to come on this mission, F her. Because some people go on a mission when they feel. I feel it's your job to try to continue to get him on that road or that journey. But to pretty much, if he's not ready or he's not there yet, I don't think you should necessarily be like, well, I don't know what to do. No, you have to allow him to fall. You have to allow him to hit his head. You have to allow him to get on that journey. It might take a little extra. You found your way before him, whatever that way may be. I don't know what you're talking about because you were very vague. I don't know if it's the fact that he's using stolen credit cards or the fact that he's whatever it may be. But I think that you have to allow him to catch up to you. You can't just say, okay, well, I'm writing him off because he's not doing what I'm doing. I think that's wrong.
Well, I think the biggest problem for her, mm-hmm. I don't necessarily think that she's overly concerned with him being at a different pace. Mm-hmm. So from what I understand, and I don't know what religion she is, so I'll just say God, whoever her God is.
Okay.
I believe that she believes in God and he also believes in God. And he probably demonstrates his spirituality. However, he chooses that allows her to recognize that he is spiritual. Uh-huh. But being spiritual is vague in and of itself.
Correct.
And, there was a time where, I'm Catholic. I went to Catholic school my entire life. You went to Catholic school your entire life. So we were educated and we knew who God was and the apostles and the disciples. And we knew about the Bible and mm-hmm. the gospel. And in my school, my elementary school, I had to go to church every Wednesday. And every Wednesday we had a half a day. We would leave early and then the CCD kids would come in and get their religious education. So I knew about God. I prayed, but And in some senses, I was spiritual, but I didn't really understand what that meant.
Correct.
And being spiritual and being a follower, considering yourself, a faithful child of God, a lot comes with that. A lot of responsibility comes with that. And I'd like to consider myself smart. And I had the wherewithal to understand that, especially if it was explained to me, but there was nothing in me that gave me the drive to chase that.
Right.
So as much as I knew about God, my life wasn't affected in a way that made me want to chase God.
Okay.
I thought that saying a generic prayer every day, you pray before you eat, you say another little generic prayer before you go to bed, you think that you're doing your job.
Right.
But that was so ignorant and so naive. But I didn't have anybody behind me pushing me in that direction, because my mother was probably the same kind of spiritual that I was. Do you know what I mean? So nobody kind of showed me the light. And it wasn't until God impressed himself upon me and upon our marriage that the light went off and I got it, and my life started to change for the better. So I'm saying all of that to say that it's not just enough for him to know about God to want to chase God. I believe that he has to be prompted in his own way to chase God. And that can be through watching your blessings unfold, or it can be something that he goes through personally. But having you there to witness may be it for him. With that being said, just like Rashawn said, you can't push him.
Right.
You can't push him. You have to allow him his space and his way. At the same time, you cannot let his lack of that chase, his lack of having God present in his life, affect the way that God is present in your life. Hold on a second. We have somebody at the door. Come on in.
Yeah.
Hi.
Go to bed, okay?
Okay, yes.
Every day I
Now, you're probably wondering who that is. That is
it's not
our
necessary.
new nanny coming in
Okay,
here.
thank you.
She is stepping off for a second and wanted to tell Gia that she was stepping off. I was just telling her
she's going on break.
Yeah, she's going on break. I wanted to tell Gia that she was going on break. Okay, continue on.
So since you are steady on your path, you can't let him distract you.
Right.
So if he has wayward ways, or he's doing things that are against your beliefs, then in my opinion, it's your job to mentor him and to explain to him the error of his ways. And you can't let that have any place in your life.
Right.
And
got to stay the course.
You have to stay your course. And
Correct.
you can only do what you can. You can't be dragged down by him and whatever sins you find that he's committing. That doesn't have any effect on you. God isn't going to be judging you for his actions. But just like you said, Rashawn, it's your job to tell him, to point those things out. Like, God won't be pleased with you. And he has to understand that by doing those things, he really is blocking his blessings.
Absolutely. You do what you're supposed to do, and you tell him what he needs to do or give him advice, and he can follow whatever he wants to follow, but that's what you are supposed to do. Like, I'm not going to sit here and lie. Let's say, let me give it a perfect example. All right, for instance, right? I was the litter king, right? I was the king of throwing shit out the car while you were driving, whether it was McDonald's bags, whether it was Wendy's bags.
Yeah.
Back in the day, that was my thing.
Dirtying up God's earth.
Right. Now, Gia, when we changed, Gia's stopped. Gia was like, no, Gia will have a dirty car with 15 fast food bags in there.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But when we get home, she'll take it out and put it in the garbage. And when I started following her, and I was like, you know what, I can't let her anymore.
Or you would roll the window down and I would just look at you like, you better not.
Right. And that, that's a small scale.
Oh, it's so small.
But that was, her encouraging me not to dirty up the world and just, you know what, take it and just put it in the garbage bag and throw it out. It takes 5 minutes to do that. And that was a positive influence on me doing what I was doing.
It's so easy to do wrong. I feel as though the world is always calling you to do wrong. And it's like the things that are right are the hardest to do.
Absolutely.
The things that are good for you are the hardest to do. It's strange how the world is. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So if he has you there as that constant support, maybe you're his blessing. Maybe you're the one that will remind him, hey, you might not want to do that. Or, hey, you might not want to think that. Or, hey, you see any flaw in the way that you're thinking right now? So maybe you're his blessing and you're there to slowly but surely start to turn him around. But just don't force him. And if you love him, I'm sure that there are reasons that are merit worthy for you to love him.
Right.
So if that's the case, then just try to be there for him, but don't allow his negative actions to try to draw and pull you into doing the same.
Absolutely. And good luck. And you stay your course, because that is your course and that's what you should be doing. So we wish you the best of luck and keep us updated.
And it doesn't have to be a relationship ender. I think that you can work with it. Good luck.
And also, I don't know if you heard some of the podcasts or the recent podcasts. Gia and I are remodeling in our house, and the architect is actually here now. So if he comes in the room, he's measuring, because he's gonna knock this bitch down. Well, not the house, but some of these walls.
Knocking the whole house down, but the house is going to be remodeled in a way where it won't be recognizable from the inside or the outside.
Right.
So we're going to have to move.
Right.
We're going to have to move out and rent, and it's probably going to take maybe a year to a year and a half to complete. And we are starting the process today. He's here field measuring, and then we're going to have to go into design and pretty much giving him our wish list and telling him everything that we want and whatnot. So it's going to be a fun process. Hopefully it's not the death of our marriage, because that's what I foresee.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, if he walks in the room,
vibes.
No negative vibes.
You just shunned me.
Yeah, right. No negative vibes.
Speak on that.
No, what? Speak on what?
Speak on that.
Speak on what?
I'm just saying, I don't want us to bump heads in a way where...
I'm not putting negativity out there. It's going to be a great renovation and we're going to keep it moving.
It's going to be a great experience?
I'm sure.
You're going to agree with everything that I want?
No. But we're going to talk about it and we're going to get through it.
All right.
But he's here. So if he walks in right now, that is the reason why.
Okay, sounds good. Next email.
All right. Now, I just stumbled on your podcast and I'm hooked. I am binge listening, and I must say I love how y'all keep it so real. So here's my issue. My boyfriend cheated on me last year with an old college friend he ran into at a club. As God would have it, the girl he slept with is friends with a mutual female friend of ours. So, of course, the girl he slept with called our friend to tell her. Our mutual friend told me, and I broke up with my boyfriend for about 4 months. And that 4 months, he seriously put in the work to get me back. He would send gifts, show up at my house, leave notes, flowers, etc. He would not let up and leave me alone. He was willing to change his habits, surroundings, whatever it took to get me back. I decided to give him a chance, and we even went to therapy for a few months at his suggestion. We are now stronger than ever. Oddly, what happened brought us closer and allowed us to communicate like we have never been before. Now we're talking about getting married. Now, my boyfriend has taken accountability for his actions and shown remorse. However, he is very unforgiving towards our mutual friend, as he feels she should have confronted him and given him the opportunity to tell me himself. Now it has become awkward with our friend because I have distanced myself from her. Prior to this incident, I was working on distancing myself from her, as I feel she often likes to submerge herself in other people's relationships. Now she's very hurt and wants us to be as close as we were before, but I know there is awkwardness there. I also feel how she shared the news could have been handled with some sensitivity as well. When all our friends hang out in a group, my boyfriend is cordial but does not acknowledge her. When I tell him we are going to hang out, he doesn't tell me about not to hang out with her, but he rolls his eyes and makes snide comments. I really do not want to deal with that every time, so I am torn. They don't want to meet and talk about what happened, but I don't want this awkwardness every time we are out at events and she is there. Any suggestions? Thank you, Anonymous.
Well, I think that's foul.
What part?
I think that's foul. The fact that the friend is being ousted for doing what arguably a friend should do. Mm-hmm. So you know what? Let's talk about that first before I go any further. Mm-hmm. Do you believe that if a friend sees your boyfriend or your girlfriend doing something they're not supposed to be doing, or gets wind that you have done something like cheating in this email, do you think that it is their job to tell you? Or do you think that they should mind their own business? Let's start there.
Okay, it depends. It depends how close of a friend that they are. If they're a very close friend and they know for sure, like in this situation where the girl called her and said, I just slept with this person and I know that person is your man and you're thinking about maybe marrying or going too far, yes, she should tell him.
I agree.
But the person that she told shouldn't have went back to the boyfriend and said, Marcy told me this, that, and the other, that you cheated on me with so-and-so. She shouldn't have did that. She should have said, I know you did this. I'm not going to tell you how I know, because if they ever get back together, it leaves a strain.
Right.
And it did.
It obviously leaves a strain. And I'm going to say this. The bearer of the bad news has to be prepared for that strain.
Right.
Because what happens often is that the friend will find out something negative, come back and tell the person that's her friend in the relationship, and that person will get upset with the boyfriend. They'll argue, but more often than not, people forgive, they move on. So either they don't break up at all, or they do and they get back together. Then who's on the out? The friend that was the bearer of the bad news. It happens all the time. So if you decide to share that bad news, you have to be prepared for the consequences. You have to be prepared for the person that you tattled on. And I'm not saying tattled in a bad way. In my opinion, it's tattled in a good way, because I do believe that it is your job to share that information if you know that it is factual. But the person that was tattled on is clearly going to feel some kind of way towards the person that they're looking at almost destroyed their relationship.
Right.
And then the person who you told, the friend, is clearly going to experience some awkwardness, because now she has to deal with her boyfriend or her husband and her friend.
Right.
It is going to exist. The boyfriend that cheated or the girlfriend that cheated isn't going to look at the bearer of bad news and say, yeah, I understand why you did it. I understand that you receiving that information put you in a compromising position and you had no choice but to tell her. No, that person be like, wow, you really inserted yourself and tried to bleep up my relationship. Now I don't bleep with you.
Right.
And
I get both sides.
It just comes with the territory. But no, the person that did the wrong should be mature enough to understand that it was that friend's duty to come back and shed that light on the situation.
And I'm
he
sure
should understand, and he should, not that she needs to be forgiven, but he should forgive that act, because he should understand that he was the person that committed the offense.
Right. No,
and that he left her no choice.
No, I get that and I understand that, but I still don't want to fuck with you. Like, I don't want to fuck with you. Like, I get it, and I understand everything you're saying.
That's very immature. And if you would take on that stance, then that would make you very immature.
I mean, it would make me immature, but I can't look at you and talk to you the same way, because I just can't. You know, I honestly don't.
Let me just say, if I cheated on you,
correct,
right? Let's say I went to the club one night, like in the email, I bumped into somebody that I knew in college and I cheated on you.
Correct.
And that person just happened to know, let's just say, your friend and manager, June.
Okay.
And that person told June. And June came back and told you. I would have to understand and respect that, because that is your friend.
You'd still be cool with June coming over? I
would still be cool with June and still be cool with
June. And have conversations with June and all that?
Still have conversations with him the same way. As a matter of fact, I would probably apologize to him for putting him in that situation with my negligent ways. I probably would.
Well,
because he's put under strain not knowing what to do.
Well, you're going to heaven before me, because there is no way
that doesn't make sense.
I can have just a normal conversation like
ignorant.
That. It is ignorant, but it's somebody's feeling, and I can sit here.
Yeah, but
I can sit here and say I would be cool, but no, it's a feeling.
Let your head take over your heart. Sometimes you have to let your head take over your emotions. You know, you put things on the scale and you have to see how they tip. Like, wow, the way that I'm acting isn't mature, and it's not smart. It's not well informed. It's stupid. I put somebody in a compromising situation where they had no choice but to do what they did. They did it. And now I'm going to turn around and be upset with them?
Yeah.
No.
I'll be.
You have to acknowledge that. But see,
Yeah,
you
I get what you're
saying
saying.
that just shows that you're okay with being willfully ignorant. Like if you know better, then you should do better. I mean, that's how people should operate in the world. If you know better, then you have to do better, even if you have to make up your mind to do it, even if you don't want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds great and it sounds wonderful, and I'll give you a round of applause, yes. But let's think about it, right? If I punch you if a stranger right now punches you in your face right now and knocks your teeth out, right? Mm-hmm. By the same standing, you should say, I forgive you. Or if somebody let me finish. Or if somebody kills your kid, you should say, they were wrong, I forgive them. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what God wants you to do. Forgive,
Not necessarily.
forgive. Yes, forgive. Yes,
the
He
way
does.
that
Absolutely.
you're putting it, I think, is a little misleading.
Absolutely. You're supposed to forgive regardless. Supposed to forgive, right?
Not in that moment.
And I can forgive and I could understand, but that doesn't mean that I still want to even see you because I fucked up. I know I did. I know I was absolutely positively wrong. But capital B-U-T, and I'll say T, big but it's going to be awkward. It's going to be fair. It's going to be funny.
I'm not saying that it's not going to be awkward, but what I am saying is that you have to make up your mind to do the right thing.
Right.
And if you hadn't messed up in the first place, that person wouldn't be in a position to do something that offended you.
No, you're right. But I don't want to talk to you no more. I really don't want to fuck with you.
You need to take that responsibility, and that person shouldn't be in a position where they're made to pay for doing something that they had no choice but to do.
No, I get it. I understand what you're saying, and I'm agreeing with you. But I just know who I am as a person. I can't see you.
As far as forgiveness, if a person harms your child, forgiveness is for you and not for them.
Right.
Like you forgive in order to eliminate that burden, to eliminate that strain so that you can move on every day without that weight on your back and without suffering feelings of hate towards another person every day. Do I understand people still having those feelings of hate? Yes, but that's when we work on ourselves. But you don't forgive that person to set that person free. You forgive that person to set yourself free. So the way that you put it, in my opinion, is a little misleading. Mm-hmm. In this situation, it's not nearly as drastic. But if you know that the person was coming from a good place and did something that they were compelled to do because they had no choice but to do it, and then you hold them accountable and create situations where they feel awkward because of it, that's wrong. And if you know it's wrong and you do it anyway, then you're wrong times two. And that's how I feel.
And it also depends on what that person said. You know, because there's somebody that says, hey, I want to tell you this. You know, my friend told me this. You know, take the information as you can or whatever. That's one way. And then there's somebody be like, girl, you got to leave him. You know he's a motherfucking cheat. And that's what she said.
Which brings us to the next part of the email that I wanted to address.
And she said she's always in somebody's business.
So those two things. She said that she had a problem with the way in which she was told. Mm-hmm. And she said that, and not verbatim, but basically I got the impression that she obsesses over other people's business.
Right.
So if those traits of the friend are things that makes her want to start distancing herself
from that girl,
from that person, then you're well within your rights to do that. But if it's based on the awkwardness that's created by the two of them being around each other, or the way that he reacts when he finds out that you're spending an evening with her or going to hang out or chill or whatever, that isn't right. Because basically, as a friend, you're punishing your friend for looking out for you and having your back.
Right.
And I think that that's all the way bleeped up. If there's other things that you didn't like about her and you saw your relationship coming to an end regardless, then okay. But I'm not getting that feeling. I'm going to tell you what I get a feeling.
I'm
getting a feeling that she's putting her boyfriend first because she loves him and they may walk down the aisle. I'm getting a feeling that the awkwardness makes her feel some kind of way. She's uncomfortable. And of course, who doesn't want to eliminate awkwardness from their life, right? Then I'm also getting a feeling that this friend does things that does annoy her.
A little messy.
But if she didn't insert herself in their business and do the right thing by telling her, I think that the emailer would have just gone along with her friend being messy and maybe insensitive anyway, which leaves you with the fact that she's really using those as excuses to sever the relationship because she wants to keep a good relationship with the man in her life and she wants to eliminate that awkwardness.
Right.
So, soul search. Understand your own self and understand your motivation. Are you using this as an excuse to end the relationship? And you have to be real with yourself. You have to be honest. And if you're using it as an excuse, then you're punishing your friend for doing the right thing.
Correct.
And I disagree with that.
And I agree with what you're saying. I mean, I know that putting myself in that predicament, you're absolutely right. Yeah, you shouldn't be, punishing your friend for doing the right thing. But, as a dude, yeah, he has to get over the fact that he fucked up and caused that. But I understand.
And furthermore, I would personally have a conversation with my boyfriend. And I would say something to the effect of, you messed up. You created the situation. If this situation wasn't created by you, there would be no problem. There would be no awkwardness. So you have to take responsibility for it. You have to own it. And when you see my friend, you smile and you say hello. And you do everything that you can to make sure that I don't feel awkward when I'm around her because you caused that. And now, not only did you hurt me by what you did, but you're also creating an after effect of awkwardness and uncomfortability, and you're perpetuating it. When I go out with her, you roll your eyes. If you want to roll your eyes, think about it and don't.
Right.
If we're around her, smile and fake nice, fake happy, fake like everything is okay if you have to, because that's part of your job, because you have to do that for my sake, because you're the culprit in the situation, not me, not my friend. And neither of us should be paying the consequences for the things that you did. Because now it's like he's kind of creating like collateral damage.
Right.
Which is messed up.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. I agree that she has to work it out with her friend and figure out if she's just basically just make it an excuse because you don't like the awkwardness. Is your friend really messy? But you shouldn't punish her because she did the right thing. And as far as him, yes, he should plan on doing what he has to do and making things the right way and do it the right way. He has to stand up for what he did and understand that, and if the situations were swapped, you would watch. I got my Mike Tyson on. If your situations were swapped, yes, you would want your friend to do the exact same thing. So I agree with you.
Okay, cool.
All right. Well,
good luck.
It's time to get up out of here.
That was 2 emails?
Yep.
That was 2?
Yeah, it was 2. It was 2. Trust me, it was 2. Damn it.
I'm bugging right now.
Now you know what you got to do? No. Don't get on your knees. I wasn't talking about that yet, baby.
You're so stupid.
I wasn't talking about that.
Go eat.
I need you to make me some butternut squash.
Well, I'm going to eat this food in front of me, and then I'll go make your meal.
Nah, because I got to go pick up Madison from the school. So you should make me some butternut squash.
Okay, so
and I got to go to the circus today, and then I got a club tonight. So I'm starving. I'm
all right.
Hungry.
Hungry.
No. Don't get on your knees. I didn't say that.
Stop it. You're so stupid.
I just said, can you please make me some butternut squash soup?
I'll make your soup.
Okay. All right. Well, it's time to get up out of here. We appreciate you guys for joining us, and shout to everybody that came to the live show. Again, we appreciate you.
We
love you. For joining us, and thank you guys. We really appreciate it. All right. Well, it's time to get up out of here. Oh, let me ask you a question, right?
What?
Nah, we'll talk about it next time.
Well, ask me now. You already said it.
I was thinking about doing a Casey Crew weekend in New York.
A whole weekend?
Yeah, because people come in town.
Like Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah, like maybe
3 days?
Like maybe Friday do like a bowling situation or a roller skating party. And then Saturday we do like a day party. And then Sunday we do a podcast where people can come the whole weekend and, maybe somebody could just do the bowling party and hang with us. Just stuff that we can do as just fun and safe, and we could just have a good time and there's no bullshit,
But that's cool because, I feel as though 30-somethings are always looking for something cool and fun to do. Like 20-somethings, 30-somethings, like you always want to do something fun. And a lot of my girlfriends are like, where can I meet guys? I don't really go to the club. I don't really go out like that. And it kind of leaves you at a blank. Like sometimes I'm thinking, well, if you don't meet them out socially and you don't meet them in church, where do you meet men? At the grocery store? Like where would you meet men other than just by happenstance, walking into the mall, walking out of the mall, going grocery shopping, being out at dinner? Usually people that are out at dinner are, with either another person or
Right.
the opposite sex or with their friends. So it's crazy. Like right now I have so many friends that are like, well, wow, like where do you meet men? So I don't know. I always thought that it would be cool to do things where, I'm not saying that it would be a mixer, but where singles and couples can come out and have a good time. Like you're always looking for like a way to have a good time and really enjoy yourself where you know it's cool, it's fun, it's safe, you know?
Yeah. So I think I'm going to try to put that together like a weekend in New York where, you know, like I said, maybe Friday bowling or roller skating, you know, Saturday maybe a day party, and then Sunday we close it out with a podcast. I think that'd be dope.
Come on in. I think that roller skating would be dope.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of roller skating. I like to bowl, but
Go ahead. Y'all good.
No.
Yeah.
You guys are good. They're in here about to measure. So bowling is fun, but I don't know if I really want to go to a bowling party.
Well, let's plan it out.
Per se, but we could figure that out.
And hit us up with it or like whatever you guys suggest.
And also give an update on Mother's Day and what we decided.
Oh, yeah. We're going to push the Mother's Day event back because a lot of people are going to see their mothers on Mother's Day. So we're going to push that back and we're going to make it another big weekend.
Yeah, because we figured like, okay, that would be great, like a Mother's Day brunch. But I think a lot of women are going to be spending time with their young children. And
Absolutely.
Then people
moms.
like us who have mothers as well are probably going to be going to our mothers' houses for dinner or taking them out to eat. So ultimately we decided that probably wouldn't be the best, even though, I mean, it would have been the best for us.
Yeah, it would have been fun. It would have been a lot of fun.
We would have loved to do it.
Right.
So instead, either we'll do like a day party or we'll do another weekend. We'll talk about it and update you guys and let you know.
Okay. Well, it's time to get up out of here. I'm DJ Envy.
And I am Gia Casey.
And we are the KC crew.
Thanks for coming over. Toodles.